Welcome to the Geek Homeworld Podcast. I am your host, Ed, aka The Savage Tech Man. We talk film, TV, and tech, all from a geek perspective. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube at Geek Homeworld. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Be a part of the Geek Homeworld. Hello, everyone. Hello, the world. Welcome to a special live stream tonight. Let's see. Let's see. I'm Ed, your host. This is Geek Homeworld. We talk film, TV, and tech. This is a live stream. I haven't been able to live stream much because I've been busy with college, and I'm going to graduate with, I think, a 3.73 or 70, something like that. Almost a 4.0 this semester. I don't know what the overall is, but I think that's pretty dang good. I'm proof that no matter how old you are, I'm 55 when I'm recording this, so you're never too old to reinvent yourself, to do something new, try a new field. And so mine was graphic design. And anyway, there's a message there I just got from Digital K-Man from Digital K-Man Presents. He's on his way. He's got held up. Hey, Firebreaker 95 Hayes. I'm not sure if I know who you are, but thank you for the congratulations. I've got to do the obligatory plugs. Please hit the thumbs up. It helps small creators like myself. Like, share, and subscribe. Do all that stuff you're supposed to do. Smash that like button, whatever it is, your thing that you do. Anyway, so it's also an auspicious day. They dropped I call it the first trailer for the new Superman film. I just watched it. We may pull it up here. We may watch it on here. I don't know if y'all have seen it yet, but it dropped today. It looks pretty good. I'm more excited. I want to be more excited than I am. Of course, I'm a Henry Cavill fan, so, but I'm giving this film a chance, and so far it looks good. I like the direction it's going. It'll be interesting to see how it does go. So, and all that. So what else? Just waiting for a Digital Caveman to get here, and then we'll talk. It's easier to talk. If y'all have any questions, any comments, please put them in the chat and all that. And I can bring, including myself, I can bring, I think, 5 people on this live stream. So if you've got something interesting to talk about, if it's in the realm of the world of geek, like if it's in like Marvel, Star Wars, any Andor fans out there, I'm trying to be an Andor fan, but I'm just not. I believe tonight or this week is like the finale or the last 3 episodes, because they've been putting them out in 3 episodes a week. And I started watching it. I don't know. It's just something about Andor. People are saying it's like the greatest thing since the original films. I hear the writing is really very well done. I've got an email. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I can do this. Let's see. Yes. I've got Caveman on here. He doesn't have the link. I sent it to you. Let's see. Okay. So this is live, so just give me a second here. I'm sure it's in his email. He'll see it. But let me just email it to him real quick so we can get him on here. Boom. Message sent. Okay, done. That's done. Come back. All right, cool. Anyway, so what else? I may talk about my journey of 2 years going back to college. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just trying to give you an overview of what we might talk about. So if I got any Andor fans out there, if you want to, I know Caveman's he's going to come in here and tell me how it's some of the best Star Wars ever, and he might be right. I tried, and I'm just not gravitating towards it. Now, on a whim last night, I was just yesterday, I watched the entire season of X-Men 97, and I'm just reminded how damn good that was. That is just about perfection, and definitely the best thing Marvel's done. Definitely one of the best things they've ever done. And even with all the controversy with Bo DeMaio and all that stuff, they still put together a just about perfect rendition of X-Men and being nostalgic at the same time and moving the story forward. Did it brilliantly. In case you're wondering, it's unsweet tea. I've already had what was left of my fun libations. I think that's what you call it. So my spirited drink. Anyway, so we're doing this a little sooner because I know some of the guys, like Cass and Bruce, they usually do their casual toy collector. I may pop on their stream tonight. I don't have anything major projects. So that's one of the good things is being done with college. I don't have to worry about anything due. For the last 2 years, every single day in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's due on such and such day. I've got this project to do. Okay, I've got this class, and that's common when you're in college. Am I glad I did it? Certainly. Being up here in Augusta was the right thing to do. And here comes Digital Caveman. Welcome there, sir. Greetings.
Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. Many families have begun that way. Anyway, up at the top in that chat there, you'll see. Oh, I guess I can pop it up here. That is if you're new to streaming or looking to level up, check out StreamYard and get a 10% discount or $10 discount. It says you get it, but I think I get some kind of credit if I get enough referrals. Do you have yours up there, Caveman? Oh,
nah.
Okay, I just put mine up there because I don't know. It's there, so why not? But anyway, who is Firebreaker 95? Hayes, do you know who that is?
I do not know that person, but welcome.
Yeah, I think that might be somebody I went to college with. I'm not sure. I feel like it is, and I'm not sure. Well, you can't look anybody up. You can't really. He says or he or she, they say congratulations. So appreciate you being here. I was just talking about some things that we might talk about here because I didn't really, me, I didn't plan.
Look, there's no excuse in that, man. You had several days.
Monday was sitting around watching as much TV as I could and doing very least that I could do. Tuesday was a little continuation that I needed to give myself a couple days during the actual work week where I was like, I have nothing to do. And I do have things to do. And I did do some things, got some things accomplished. But 2 years of, when you get to this age, 2 years of like thinking, okay, I got to do this. And then there's a certain amount of time to get this done, a certain amount of time before that assignment's due. And I'm a procrastinator. I think a lot of creative people are. But I'm the king of procrastination procrastination. Yeah, that's usually what you get, which you put in. I mean, some of my projects, I'll be honest, they were last minute, but sometimes some of the best inspirations are that way. Like, and I may actually show my portfolio in here. I wonder if I can do that. It's in PDF format. Can I do that on here?
Present or present. You can probably do it on here.
Let's see. Slides and PDFs. Okay. You have no slides. Google Slides. Okay, from your computer. Let's see what. Upload a file. Okay. Oh, I guess I got to find it now. That'd be a good time. Let's see.
That would be a good time to find it.
I should have keyed this up.
We're going to show it.
All right. Where is it? Maybe it's this one. That's probably not it. Maybe it's the one that says graphic design portfolio. Maybe that's it.
That might be a good place to look.
Oh, of course it's not. Is this a PDF version? Okay. Let's see what happens here. Uploading. Let's see what happens. So. Oh, here we go. Add to stage. Oh, there we go. So it works.
Woohoo!
So we're going to show my portfolio. No, in a portfolio is a living document, as our instructor said. So it's you're always going to update it with your best work. I picked five pieces. I think that was our minimum to pick 5. And I just had 5 that I was kind of proud of, or the most proud of. Oh, so you go to different slides. This is cool. So that's me. And funny thing, when I got up in front of class, I was like, well, how do you pronounce this? I was like, first off, I said my name and I said, we're going to start off with a group activity here. And I said, we're going to learn how to pronounce my name. And everybody laughed. And I said, it's Sue. I went up to the screen. And I was like, CIU. So Sue, CE is S, and then Vitch. And I said, let's say it together, Sue Savitch. And the whole class did. It was funny. And then my instructor said, I'm glad you said that because I wasn't sure how to pronounce it. If I was saying it right. And some people mispronounce my name, and I'm just like, okay, I'll let it slide. But anyway, so let's look at some pieces. Oh, well, let me read the about me if you can't read. I'll just, if you can't read, I didn't mean to say it like that. That's really small from where you're going to see me leaning in with my glasses. Say, what's that there, Sonny? I can't read it.
What's that? Them quadfocals?
Something like that. Yeah, I can see into the future with these things. As a graphic designer, I infuse my work with a wealth of career experiences across retail, media, and production to bring your brand to life. My aim is to help you achieve your goals and enhance your bottom line through engaging visual content. Whether you need to attract new clients, promote a product, entice charitable donations, or increase your brand awareness, I will deliver vibrant and impactful messaging. I can create a range of services from new logos, letterheads, signs, sales materials, brochures, catalogs, to any other printed or digital media.
Yes, I want you to remake me a Sears catalog.
That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. I miss the Sears catalog and the JCPenney catalog. We're not going to go over my resume. There's all the stuff I've done. I work like hell. This is and these are just a few screenshots from stuff. This is just and these are all mock. These are not actual things that I've done, but these were projects. So one was create. You had to pick a nonprofit and do like a brochure for them. So I did the Habitat brochure. And so it says client, Habitat for Humanity, a nonprofit organization that provides housing for low-income people. The concept was a bright and invitational brochure showcasing Habitat's mission and work. The goal was to attract volunteers and donors to support Habitat projects. And the tools I used for that were InDesign, one of the many programs that we learned throughout the couple of years I was in college there. And there's like the table of contents for that. This is a couple slides here and like their housing programs and all that. So that's nice. Next one. This is one I was kind of proud of, but there are things I definitely now getting farther and getting out of the program. I realized that I could really change. And there's some things on here and some of the border boxing that I did in here for this layout that you'll see that I could probably blend a little bit better than I did. But this is for Rolling Stone magazine. It's a magazine on the cutting edge of rock music and style, its style and culture. The concept was a vibrant mix of loud colors and expressive images to invoke the rock lifestyle. The goal to attract young, hip, forward-thinking, artistic individuals living a rock lifestyle. And I used InDesign to do the whole thing. Now, this photo, and you might see it on the next one here, I was stuck with this project. I had brainstormed, and we had like, I think 2 to 3 weeks on average on most of these projects. So I was struggling in my sketches, and my sketches never turn out the way the final product. It's rare that they turn out that way.
I've seen your sketches, so that might be a good thing.
I even took a drawing class, and for someone who's never drawn anything other than crooked stick people, I thought I did pretty good in some of the drawing class, but
Oh, so all your stick people were politicians.
I guess they were. I don't know. But anyway, so I learned to do a little bit better. I got a little bit better with that, and that's something a skill I'll continue working on. But anyway, so I was getting nowhere, and then I was looking at images. Now we got our images, like you can get like a lot of people in industry use. I call it Unsplash. I think it's Usplash. I think is in Pexels. That's where you can get a lot of high definition, because you always want the high definition of photographs or JPEGs or actually PNGs.
Don't use low definition crap you find on YouTube.
No. You never take something like off of Google. Yeah, don't do that.
No, I'll find some good ones every once in a while.
Yeah, but it's rare. But anyway, so like this photo that I saw, what the heck did you do to your face? Oh yeah, this is naked face. I had enough of it today, and I was like, I'm all naked face. Oh hi, man, how are you?
How are you, Raz?
Raz, I love that. I'm doing great. Yeah.
What happened to his face? This is what he actually looks like.
This is what I look like when I don't have the. Yeah, I know. But I was like, well, graduation's coming up, and I don't want to be. I'm probably going to keep this till like June 7th when I graduate. Then maybe that I didn't cut the hair yet, but letting the hair grow long. But I was going to let the beard, everything go long, and I'm like, that picture's going to be around for a while, so I think I want to look younger at least, and I don't feel like dyeing it. I hadn't done that in years, but anyway, so Just for Men. Yeah, no, I used to do that.
Not sponsored by Just for Men.
Not sponsored by Just for Men, unless you want to. Anyway, he said, congratulations. In which field? Sorry, I missed the beginning. That's okay. I'm just happy you're here.
I missed the beginning too, Raz. So.
Yeah. Caveman just showed up too. I'm the one that was on time. That never happens. Even on my own streams. Rare. So I was like, I'm just gonna go, and maybe someone will show up. But anyway, so it's in graphic design. It'll be at an associate's degree, my first degree I've ever earned, except degree in being, I guess, a lady killer. No. No, that's a bad joke. No, it's associate in applied sciences, and the major is in graphic design. So, and we're going through my PDF here, which is on Behance, by the way. I guess I could plug all this, but that's one thing I have to do.
You can put a link in the chat. You could do that.
I could do that. Yeah, and y'all can go thumbs up me or whatever you got to do in there. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Behance. There we go. All right. How do you get that? Let's see. I don't know if that's the copy. Let's see if this works. I'll put this in the chat and see if. There you go. Oh, there it is. I'll just pop it up there. But that's where you can reach me. And yeah. Well, I mean, you could reach me if you want to hire me. But I've got like project up there, and I've got this. This is my PDF. We're going through my like 5 best designs that we came up through college there, and through the graphic design program. Let's see. Rez says, I'm working on intros right now. Got Travis Arts this Saturday. Wow. And Jessica.
Oh, nice.
Dio Giovanni. Is that how you say it? Fantastic. Yeah. Don't be afraid if you want to drop a link in, Raz, your link in the chat, or Caveman, if you want to put it in there, you're welcome to. If you can.
Well, you have to put them. We can't put links.
Oh, I thought you could, because you're in.
Well, I might can.
If you can, I'd appreciate it if you do it. But anyway, and I'm supposed to tell everybody, please thumbs up the video, like, share, and subscribe, all that good fun stuff. Anyway, Raz has got a lot of really cool content on his channel. So Raziel Kane reviews, you want to check out his stuff. And of course, Digital K-Man, don't forget to plug yourself.
Yes.
You
all
are.
the time.
Oh, it's in your little name down there. They can see it too. But, He says, thanks, guys. Yep, thank you. Anyway, so I was talking about going through my portfolio here. And so, like I said, I procrastinated on this project. I could not find the direction I was looking for. I just knew like redoing like a Rolling Stone like ad that my thing is I like vibrant colors. I love bright, vibrant, loud colors, kind of like me. So I saw this photo right here that ended up being my cover. It was this photo and the photo on the far left, right. But the one on the far left is I saw that, and literally within like 8 hours, I put my whole concept together. I stayed up that whole night and I got it done. It was like done the next day. And I was like, yep. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's start up Caveman's. This is for Digital Caveman. If you want to subscribe to his YouTube, he does. I'm not going to say it. He does figure reviews, action figure.
There you go, action figure reviews. You finally got it.
I was saying in my mind, I was saying unboxing and telling myself not to. But anyway, so give him a like, share, and subscribe as well as Raz.
Yes, Raz does reviews and he does interviews also.
Yeah.
Yes,
he does.
Voice actors.
Actors. So, yeah, I don't have his. If you're if y'all
are on YouTube and you just search his name up, it'll come right up.
Yeah, for Raziel Kane.
And I think it's just youtube.com/@Raziel Kane Reviews.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any numbers behind it.
I'll keep his name up there so you can see it, but it's in the chat. Or his name is anyway. What's he got to say? Okay, he said I try anyway. It's been quite quiet these past few months. Yeah. Well, one thing I wanted to talk about with the tariffs and not getting political, but there's been some movement on that with the U.S. and China, and so it may be better for a lot of goods, but it's going to be for in the action figure collecting community. I know that business has just been like the tap has been shut off because most of the good stuff comes from China.
Well, Hasbro had canceled all the pre-orders on their Pulse site, and now they've opened everything back up.
Well, that's
they've announced that there's no current plans to increase prices due to the 30%.
But there's going to be like an influx of all these vendors, Walmart, Target, anybody that orders anything that has to get anything from China. They expect that they're going to double and triple up their orders and try to get their back to school, all this stuff ordered.
Because we don't know how long this 30% is going to last. It's a temporary thing. So
nobody has a free plane to give to the president to sway his opinions. Anyway, but we're not going to get political here. And back to the layout. So focus. So anyway, I saw that photo of that dude with the ski mask, and I didn't think, oh, that's dangerous. I thought this is mysterious, and it looks so rock and roll to me. And so I love that photo. And from that, I was like, well, I'm going with the most vibrant colors I can come up with. And then you'll see on that slide there, you'll see a couple pages there. And I'm not completely happy with this. Some of the bounding boxes didn't work out well. This last picture there on the far right, I really dug that picture. The guy's got like an MP3 player, a 45. He's got his camera there, and there's little something. And we had these are mock layups, so it was just filler text or whatever in there. So, but I did dig doing that, and so you got to show a lot of different inspirations. Like there's this one girl that's very talented in our class. I think her name's Hannah. Yeah, she's very talented. She's got a very kind of dark, and if I'm misrepresenting her, I don't mean to, very kind of dark gothic kind of look to things, and her stuff. She did like an album cover that was beyond belief, put all of us to shame. And but she did one where she totally switched it up and got out of her comfort zone as a designer, a graphic designer. And she did one that was very looked very mainstream and kind of colorful. And that's what I did here. Like this particular one, we had to do a designer cookbook. And so I didn't go with the bright colors. I kind of went with a different color scheme here where it was more muted colors, but it was to give you a warm kind of home feel to things. And so the client was a Project Cookbook, an upscale holiday themed cookbook. The concept was create a home for the holidays upscale cookbook that brings the feeling of coming home and warmth to your heart. The goal was to use the use of subtle colors to invoke a welcoming holiday feel at your loved one's house. And this was once again all done in design. And once again, the picture that sold me on this wasn't, oops, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Wasn't this picture necessarily, even though I did like that. And that was, but this was my front cover, the one on the far right. And I mean, I saw this photo and it's not the highest definition photo. So it's the, if you saw this in person, it's not grainy, but it could be better. And anyway, so I called mine Festive Feast, a holiday entertaining cookbook, and the two dogs sitting there with the reef there and the snow outside, and it's like, that's what you want to see when you're coming home. And we got a puppy a couple of years ago. So and so he's great, Barkley, and he's got his own Instagram account, Lieutenant Barkley, for Lieutenant Reginald Barkley from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Anyway, so it made me think of him and Voyager, correct. I don't know who this Barkley guy is, but he's an official member of our crew. Anyway, so here's the spread over to the left side, just this is classic stuffing with sage and sausage. And then there's the ingredients. So that was like example of my cookbook, my designer cookbook. Then the next one, I overthink everything I do, right?
Not you.
I do. I overthink everything. And then in the end, I procrastinate. And sometimes I just went with something simple here. I was like, okay, the client is Velo Bikes. I hope I'm saying that right with the little, whatever you call that thing above the E. Velo. Okay. And the client's a bike manufacturer on the cutting edge of technology that perfects 21st century bike design standards for the adventurous mountain bike enthusiast. Concept was to display the bike against a mountain range to show how many different paths you can ride with the Velo mountain bike. The goal was to attract mountain biking enthusiasts who want the cutting edge extreme biking experience. And I did all of this on Photoshop. This one was kind of simple, but I kept it simple. Just like, some of the ones were more complicated. You have to show like a different side of your designing. Sometimes you just need, I need something quick, boom. And so I said, well, definitely, just like in my concept there that explains it, I wanted the mountain bike there. It's and I came up with new hike, new bike. And I probably could have done that. It doesn't look so great here. I probably could have done some bordering on the lettering here, but I don't know. I just went simple with it, and I just kept the green motif through there, and the black of the bike there is a little bounding box behind their name there, and all that. Anyway, so that was that for a mountain bike ad. This one, I know, Caveman, I kind of consulted with you. I was like, what do you think? What do you think? And the versions of this, there were a lot of versions of this one. And anybody that knows me, and I'm not wearing my Def Leppard shirt now. I'm a massive Def Leppard fan. So I said, okay, I want to make something that's like Def Leppard, and very, very much that feel, right? So I said, what's like a leopard? And I was like, well, there's a panther. And I was like, okay, Black Panther. I was like, well, I can't do Black Panther because that's a superhero and everything else. So I said, okay, Chrome Panther is one of the names I came up with. Now, purposely, there's no chrome in this design. I may go back and make some of the lettering a little chrome finish to it or something like that. But I purposely didn't want to put chrome in there. I wanted it then to say, okay, it's Chrome Panther, but there's no chrome in it. I wanted that question. So that was intentional. But anyway, so I call them Chrome, and I did it with a K because like Def Leppard, it's not DEAF, right? Like it's DEF. So it's kind of a play on words. So anyway, Chrome Panther is a 1980s glam pop metal hair band. And if you know Def Leppard, they're much more than that. But anyway, Chrome Panther, that's what Chrome Panther is. So the concept was to use the red, yellow band colors of Def Leppard. The fire represents their exciting and energetic music. The panther represents the mysterious and fun nature of their music. The red and black eyes are watching you as they are quote, on the prowl, which is the name of the album there, for a good rockin' time. The goal is to represent the fun, wild, mysterious, and energetic music that makes you dance and sing along. And I used Photoshop and Illustrator to do this. Several different iterations of this. I think I had, there was another one that's not in here, my final project, and I had 6 versions of that, which is pretty incredible. And I'll find that I'll bring that up as a thing. And I love it, Razio Kane. You're right. Def Leppard made the best pole dancing song ever. That's the reason Hysteria. It was okay. It sold like 3-4 million copies, but it was doing okay. It was doing good for albums. That was pretty good in the 80s still. And then Pour Some Sugar on Me. Strippers in, I think it was Orlando or somewhere in there, started dancing the song, and they were calling the radio stations requesting this song like crazy. And yeah, pole dancers. And so you're right, that's exactly what happened. And then the song went, crazy, and they shifted like 4 million units in the next couple months off of that song alone. And then of course several hit singles beyond that as well. So kind of amazing. But yeah, that's Pour Some Sugar on Me, obviously. The song that should have been number one.
One up too, to kind of show Ed some of the things I was trying to explain to him. I'm looking for it right now. I don't know where the hell I put it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'd love to see if you've got some stuff you want to share. But anyway, yeah. So, I'm sorry. What did I just do? I clicked something. I don't know what I clicked. Okay. Anyway, so this is that. And is there another slide? Okay, that was end. And there we go. That's me, Ed Suckerfish, or Susavich. There you go. And oops, there's my email and my phone number. Oh well, stop sharing, remove. But anyway, so that's my portfolio that I turned in, and it's interesting. The class for that particular design class, I made like a very high B in that, which is fine. And everything else was A, all my other classes. But the presentation class that I did that in, I guess he really liked my presentation because I definitely made it A in that, a high A in that. So anyway, I was just, it's whatever. And it's nice to get the accolades and all that good stuff. So that's my portfolio. So I'm doing graphic design as well as other things. I've got an exciting prospect I can't talk about yet. Caveman knows what it is, but I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it either.
Yep, because I don't want to jinx it.
That's
there you go. So that's that. Cool. Some of the things I want to talk about, and Caveman, jump in anytime if there's anything you want to share, anything you want to talk about. Don't let me monopolize the conversation.
Well, it's your stream, so
I know, no, but feel free to jump on in, and you're probably good. I've got something where you can jump on in, and I almost said Rogue One. What is it called? Andor.
Well, I hadn't watched the last 3 yet.
And did the last 3 come out tonight, or
they came out last night?
Last night. Okay.
My Disney Plus has been screwy today, so I wasn't able to watch it.
Is it?
It would last. I started it, and it would go for like 30 seconds, and then it would just stop.
Right. That happens. I mean, that definitely happens.
I don't know if like maybe their server was overloaded, or I don't know, but
yeah, it could be because in there are people that saying it's the best thing since Empire, since the movies and the writing and all that.
I don't know if I would go that far with it.
Dude, I'm tempted just to watch the last 3 episodes and pick up there and then go back. Oh, there.
No. Don't pick up the last 3.
You said start at like 5.
You need to start at like
4,
7.
7.
Yeah, at least start at 7.
How many episodes does it have?
12.
This is finale. Okay.
And they drop 3 every week, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So start at 7. You said 7.
At least. I mean,
okay. I know some guy
fast paced at the very first, and then it slows down a little bit, but then
some character dies in there.
7,
Yeah.
then it's not. There's not a whole lot of lulls going on.
Right. I texted you last night. And it's like yesterday. I was just looking at stuff to watch, and I was like, I ended up watching a couple episodes of X-Men 97, and I ended up watching all 10 of them. They're just so damn good. And I was just,
at some point I'm gonna rewatch it, but
yeah, I think that's probably the third or fourth time I've rewatched them. It's like the second time I probably watched it all the way through.
yeah.
But definitely good. I can't wait for that. Other happenings in the world of geekdom today. They dropped the first, I guess, official Superman trailer, or I don't know if it's the first or the second trailer, but it's
they did drop. I saw where they dropped another one.
I was gonna see if we could put it up here. I don't know if they'll cancel my stream if we talk about it, but who is it? Who are they? DC?
Yeah, DC, Warner Brothers.
DC Comics. How do you what is the film called? I forgot what it's called. Is it just Superman?
It's Superman now, I think. Just Superman.
Yeah. DC Superman trailer. Variety's got it here. Let's see if I can share this. It probably won't let me. Probably block me. Okay, here we go. DC. Let's go there. All right, on YouTube. What if can I pull up a YouTube channel from here?
Possibly. Yeah, you should be able to.
Are you gone? Oh, did I lose you?
Oh, maybe so.
Hello. Or maybe is it making you go out? That's weird. Caveman, did I lose you? I need to.
No, I'm still here. I'm here.
Caveman, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I see you there, but you're not doing anything. Can you see me? Okay, there you are.
You.
That's weird. Yeah, you disappeared from my stream.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Am I back now?
Yeah. I was damn it. Trying to get to YouTube. Superman trailer. All right, which one? It's already had 370,000 views in 8 hours.
And Rand said he could hear us both.
He can hear us both? Okay. Thank you. Okay.
He said there was a lag spike. So you're lagging.
All right. I'm going to try to share this screen. Let's see if I can share. All right.
Are you done with the other one?
Yeah, yeah. Are you taking it down? Or
I can.
Okay. Share screen. Let me see which screen.
Oh, it says add to stage.
Okay.
Add it to stage. I want to take it off.
All right. Here we go. This one.
I think maybe you have to.
Okay. Can you see? Okay. All right. Let's I'm gonna give me a second here. I'm gonna hit this up. See if we can watch this full screen. Oops. Full screen. Boom. Okay, here we go. Can you hear that?
Are you being serious right now?
Okay.
Yeah.
You let me interview you as Superman.
Sure. This Lois has got to grow on me. So far, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it, Cronkite.
We've had so many good
Superman.
Lois Lanes.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some
it's
might.
a lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe.
That's cool.
I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me
problems around the world.
and doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
People die, dude.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Oh, eyes up here. That's funny. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Uh-oh, don't kill Crypto.
Your choices,
Oh, look at Crypto.
your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
I don't like that Jonathan Kent.
Superman.
What's a different take on it? I'll say this.
It's not a bad.
Like Nicholas Holt. He looks really awesome as
He's an
Lex.
Yeah, I like him as Luthor.
It's somehow become the focal
He might
point
be
of
a
the entire
tad
world's
bit young,
conversation.
though.
I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
And that's Metamorpho.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be some, unless you're a DC fan, some lesser known
Dog.
Crypto.
characters.
Well, it's no Bridgerton. I'll tell you that much. No. Okay, stop screen.
Yeah, stop that one
Oh,
too.
it's playing on my other one. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, boom. Move from studio. Goodbye. Anyway, he says, Raz says the guy who plays Jonathan is a good actor. Yeah, I don't know. I've got to get used to his new parents. I've liked pretty much every Martha and Jonathan Kent actor. John Snyder, probably one of the best, other than the guy in the original Superman film.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord, John Ford. No,
John
that was the
Ford.
director.
Who's Jason Robards? I don't know why that name, where that name came
that's
from.
not him.
I don't. There's one of the
Dang it.
older
I can
actors.
see his face and I can't think of his name.
I almost think it's John Ford. I almost agree with, but he was a director, I believe.
Yeah, he was.
So I'm hyped for it. You can hear Barkley barking in the back. He's a fan of Cryptos. I don't know.
There, I found it finally.
Oh, that's your album cover that you did. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Of course, I didn't put any words or anything on it.
Right.
I was, like I said, this was just a mock-up to kind of, I was describing things to you and you weren't quite getting what I was saying, and so I made this up.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
It's supposed to say Chrome Panther on the prowl.
Oh, you're gonna do that. Oh, so you're coming up with your version of it. That's cool. But I like that. I was thinking of like Mustafar. I was gonna do that or something. Originally I had him like on like his claws over like the planet or something like that. I thought it was really cool, but I couldn't make that look the way I wanted it to look and all that. So I don't know. But anyway, they're just mock-ups, of ads. So that's cool. And so what did you want to say about Andor? I think we touched on Andor a little bit.
I enjoyed it. Well, at least what I've seen. I'll still have to watch the last 3 episodes, but
is it better than
so far, so
Razor?
good to me. It's a lot better than the fare that we have been getting.
Yeah.
The Acolyte, I couldn't even make it past 3 episodes. I watched 3 episodes of that and I was done with it. And
that had a good production value, but yeah, they've lost me with the Force is the thread.
You can have as much production value you want, but if your story's crap,
it's crap. Yeah, crap. I hated it. And
you gotta have the story to support it.
And how they
Skeleton Crew. I enjoyed Skeleton Crew for what it was. It was a fun romp through the Star Wars universe.
I got about halfway through it, and then I just lost interest.
It was like Space Goonies, but you don't like Goonies, so
yeah, I'm a weirdo.
Boo this man.
It's a turn of my
doesn't
80s
like
card.
Goonies.
Yeah, but
Did you get your list into Profit yet?
No, that's the other thing I was going to do, but I couldn't get off the sofa. I had to turn from the right side to the left side and then back. So I didn't have a chance to do all that. It was a lot of work. That's how incredibly lazy I've been. But I've got yard work to do this week, I'm sure, and a lot of things because the sun finally came out. We hadn't seen the sun in like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, it's been real rainy down here too, but it hadn't been like constantly raining.
Yeah, we on the way back because we popped down Savannah and then we drove back up during some of that rain. And there was one place we went through and there were like 7 inches of rain have already fallen. I was like, well, get me out of your county.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go down you're not going to see me on the Weather Channel.
I think my dad said they had 6 inches.
Damn.
There.
Well, they were just complaining weeks ago how we're in this drought. And now
Yeah, we got the
drought.
rain. Now we got too much rain.
And what was interesting, and because it's like low pressure, they said went basically the same direction that hurricane that came through here back in September, October did. It dumped more rain than the hurricane, but it didn't have the winds and all.
At least it didn't have all that wind.
Winds. And, had decent lightning in this round, and I'm like, I don't know. Welcome to the Old Man's Podcast, where we talk about the weather. I'll stare at the sun all day. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I was late because I was in the zone. I was doing some recording.
You were doing some editing? Doing some recording?
No, I was doing some recording, yeah.
You got anything you can share with us?
I haven't really had a chance to do it in like 2 weeks, so.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Part
you
of
that
it
far
is,
ahead?
Yes, I am. I'm all the way done. Like 1,000 episode week it's in the bag. It's done.
Wow.
So
what was that like?
Working on the week after that.
Way through and go, oh God, this is so nostalgic.
Well, we'll go when we have the live stream. I've got all the thumbnails set up where we can kind of skip through them.
Okay, cool.
And everybody can talk or not talk about it or whatever. Whoever's there.
So have you decided when the live stream is yet, or?
Yes, it will be Monday the 20. I want to say it's the 26th.
It's a Monday.
Okay. Either the 26th or 27th. Let me see.
Of May.
It's Monday the 26th, which is the day that episode 1000 falls on that day. It'll be available at midnight, but the live stream won't be until 9 p.m. that night.
Okay.
On May the 26th.
May 26th.
2025.
Sweet.
And I picked up a few more subs too. It was 905 when I looked at it earlier.
Well, last I looked before this stream was 95. So I'm getting there. I'm getting to a point where five more subs and I can drop the 4248 off there.
Stupid numbers.
Yeah, the stupid number system that YouTube forces you into.
You can never remember.
And you've promised me that once I hit 100, those subs come much easier.
That was my experience.
Okay.
I hadn't
promised. I hope to have a similar experience.
That was my experience. And I hope you have a similar experience.
Thank you very much. I'm trying.
Quicker. But did you ever get the email on your YouTube about the
I got something.
where they translate it?
I don't know if I got
they give you the different language audios.
I saw something about it, but I don't know if I saw it specifically from my channel. But I've seen some videos about it. I've watched.
You'll say we'll get into it after.
Razil Kane says, same here. You get each milestone up to 1,000 quicker than the previous one.
So,
well, I mean, for me, and just over, I guess it's been a year since I really kind of took the YouTube side of the podcast here, the channel itself, seriously, and really started investing in it. Probably the first year I was here, that's this studio kind of, I popped in once in a while, but I never really did anything with it because I was like, I got to wait till I get it perfect. And I'm like, you know what? Stop that foolishness.
You'll never get it. It'll never be perfect to you.
Yeah. And so, I started that like 2024 with like 24 subs, which isn't a lot. And then probably a lot of people have forgot they ever subbed my channel. And and then I'm at 95 now. So, and this Rouse is saying, so if it took a year to hit 100, it'll be 9 months to 200, and 7 months to 300. Wow, I hope so. That'll be amazing. When I start getting those big numbers, I'm gonna like freak out. Like when I hit 100 subs,
you know, that's
something.
that's only part of it. You know, it's the watch hours too, especially if you're looking to to get monetized, and that's the really hard part.
Yeah, and
I
they
mean,
keep raising the bar.
Not to say hitting 1,000 subs is easy. It's not, especially in like the niches that we're in. You know, it almost feels like you have to fight for every sub you get and every watch minute. You know, and
Right.
I'm sure it's easier for some than it is for others, but I mean that's my experience. Is it feels like it's a fight to get it there, and you know, I don't want to make it sound like, you know, I'm just making content to
No,
be
you're not.
monetized or whatever, because
You're
I'm
not
never,
chasing an
it's never
algorithm.
gonna make me a living.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not there.
I'm not expecting that
For
at all.
most of us. I keep doing it because it's something I enjoy. It's something where, you know,
Right.
in my area, it doesn't seem to be a lot of collectors, and this is kind of my way. You know how you might bring somebody to your house and show off your collection.
Exactly.
You know, no matter what your collection is, records or you know, what have you. But it you know, that's my channel is my way of doing that. Is to, you know,
That is
and I don't
actually a
mean to
great
say
way to
show
put it.
off, but to show my collection, to share it.
You big show off, you.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got the big part right.
That's what they all say. But yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, I would love to get monetized. It'd be great to have this as like a second income or something, but I'm not holding my breath. You know, will it happen? It's possible. Anything's possible, but I don't know. It's going to take a lot more hard work and a lot more dedication.
And I definitely, you know, I have a few channel members, and I definitely appreciate each and every one of them.
You picked up one recently, I think, a new one.
I did at my highest tier.
If you feel like shouting them out, if you can remember them.
He makes number 3. Oh, one is my mom.
Good job.
And she's not at the highest tier.
Oh, well, she's showing her support either way.
But DJ MC, MC DJ ACDC. Let me get it right. And then
that's a mouthful.
DFS Infinite.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. That
shout out
to that love, because that's a little bit. There. That's a little bit of money a month, and that, you know, that can help. You know, you save that up every while.
Yeah, eventually I have to save it up to 100 because I can't even cash in until I hit 100.
Yeah. Then you start getting that spreadsheet out and putting that money there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave all that stuff in the bank till it gets to tax season. Of course, I think anything under 500 is, you don't have to claim it. So
I don't know,
but who knows? They change it every freaking 6 months.
Maybe they'll obliterate taxes. We don't have to pay them. Yeah, right.
Maybe,
but
that would be nice. But you know, I mean, you end up paying it one way or another.
Yeah. Some people have said, "Oh, let's get a like a universal tax where like there's like a 10, 15 or 20% tax on like everything, but you don't pay taxes anymore."
Right.
But you know, so like everyday stuff will cost more.
And
I guess
it's hard to do that because the idea behind it is that the manufacturers or the companies who are offering these products are the ones who pay that 15%. And prices stay the same, but it's
kind of like a tariff in a way.
It makes prices to what they show you on the shelf isn't plus tax. It is that is the price you pay. You know, that's part of it. Then the companies are supposed to pay that, you know, 15 or 20 or whatever it is. But, you know, we know that trickles down. It's just like the tariff thing. You know, a lot of companies are not going to absorb that cost. And I was really surprised because there were some smaller toy companies that had some stuff come in before it hit 145%, you know, and they absorbed the cost of that. And we're talking about small, you know, businesses. And one of those was the Four Horsemen. They had a partial shipment come in before the 145.
Oh, really?
And they decided to absorb that cost.
That's mighty big of
But
them.
when it went up to 145, they were like, "There's no way, we're too small. We can't."
Right.
Absorb
And that's what
that.
like
There was another
that's
toy. I can't remember who it was.
a good transition into talking about the tariffs. And, you know, they've just reached the 30% with China and then 10% on
Our goods.
US goods, our goods. So that's much better than 145%.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's still not easy. It still could be hard and could be bad on, you know, I personally have a problem with basically it's a tax on everything that the people that purchase the stuff are paying, you know, and it can be spun anyway, but it's
But
basically that.
here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize when it comes to tariffs. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not paying a tariff on the retail price of something. Okay. You're paying a tariff on the manufacturer's cost or the producer's cost. So say it costs $5, just as an example.
Okay.
You know, $5 to make something, but they sell it for
$9,
$15.
Okay.
Right. So they're making $10 profit on it, but you're not paying, you know, the tariff isn't on the $15 that they're going to sell it for once they get it over here. It's for the $5. It's on the $5 that they paid to have.
So it's on the $5. So they're going to take that
manufactured.
difference and raise their prices to compensate.
Well, a lot of companies will. It's like Hasbro,
Yeah.
you know, the biggest toy manufacturer in the world. When the 145% tariff hit them, they pulled every single pre-order on their site.
Wow.
Everything was like not available.
Do you think that was a good thing or was a good thing? How do you analyze that?
Well,
is it good on their part? Is it
you
bad?
know, it makes it look like, and I don't know that this is a fact, but it makes it look like, you know, they weren't willing to absorb
the cost,
that 145%, but they also, it makes it seem like they weren't willing to pass it on to the consumer either. And that could just be all spin, but that's the way that it looks. So it are what it is, and it be what it damn.
But anyway, yeah, it's just
it's not when you think of it like
companies aren't going to be benevolent. They might do that in the here and now in the short term, but in the long term, they're not going to absorb those costs.
Oh no, in the
They'll
long
pass
term.
them
Well,
right
a
along.
lot of companies
So,
can't.
Whether it comes from the cost of that or the retail of it, like most people think it comes from the retail, they're still going to raise it to compensate. So because they're not going to make stuff to lose money. Nobody goes in the business to lose money, you know.
And Hasbro did announce also, not to interrupt. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But you know, they also they brought things back now that the you know the agreement was reached. So they, you know, they've opened their pre-orders and stuff back up, and they said at this time there will be no price increase, and everybody was really thinking there was going to be and there may end up being a price increase, but we had
even a modest one,
a Marvel Legends figure that came out. I think some people have it in hand now, but they did a Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire in the black suit and the Bully Maguire head.
And I love those memes. I love them.
But the retail on that was like $33, and it was it was a standard figure. Now, I don't know if there was some additional cost in that for likeness rights. You know, none of us are privy to those dealings, but I mean, at a guess, I can say maybe that was the case, but it would seem like, those those rights would already be locked down. Now, whether it's like maybe Sony is the one where the extra costs come in. Like I said, I don't know because I'm not privy to those inside meetings.
You don't have all that.
Yeah, I'm not in the know that much. I'm just making speculation.
Cool. It's weird. So yeah, I'm glad that they came to some kind of at least reasonable 90-day agreed tariff so that it won't be so obstructive, like especially like in the community. Just the small business is really what I'm concerned about. You and I have talked off camera about this a lot, and he's like, well, there's going to be some short-term pains to the long-term picture, and I get that, but there's a lot of small businesses, not just packaging collectors, that may go out of business or can't even do business. They can't afford a 30% tariff, let alone 145%.
Yeah,
so
it definitely sucks for small businesses that
it's like putting a tax on
can't
small
absorb
businesses.
that, and they can't
Right.
pass it on to the consumer. And there is a point where you are too small, I guess, to play in the big leagues. And I don't want to mean it sound like you should never start your own small business, and
No, not at
because
all.
small
That's what
businesses
America was built
that's
on.
what turns into big businesses.
Right.
The place that we used to be employed at. I mean, how many stores did Sam Walton start? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
never
Walton Five and Dime, and then he had something else, and then he had something else, and then he finally had Walmart.
Right. He started the small business. And ironically, it's just the nature of the beast in business. It got so big that it ended up putting mom and pops out of business. And then there's been a pullback a little bit from that. And of course, while everybody was looking around between Target and Walmart, duking it out, this little bookseller called Amazon came up and just left everybody in the dust.
Obliterated everybody.
They're all small potatoes compared to
yes. Oh, speaking of that, Mr. Jeff Bezos and his, weirdly shaped rockets. I don't know if you saw or not, but
no,
apparently he's suing Katy Perry. Yes, because apparently that was all just a setup for an advertisement for Blue Origin. Okay, they didn't go nowhere.
I have not heard that.
It was all staged. They said there's places in like the live stream where you can see.
But wait a minute. Why is the lady that's on the CBS Morning News on there, and all the people getting interviewed and saying, "Yeah, we went to space and all this, and we're astronauts"? Obviously.
Well, that's just how he's spinning it. That it was supposed to be for an advertisement.
Well, if we're going to be honest, they didn't really go into outer space. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No.
Debunked it a long time ago.
Or if they did that,
Elon's putting people putting things in space. He has done that successfully. They are like, you're just going up for 10 minutes and you just kind of get to that weightless point. It's almost the equivalent. It's a little higher than being in the airplane.
Where you go in that airplane where they train you to,
but it's like a little bit higher. So technically you go into space, but you're really not in like the upper.
You're just like on the edge.
You're just kind of skirting
the edge.
So,
but anyway, so apparently she was not supposed to open that door from the inside.
Well,
Jeff Bezos was supposed to open it from the outside, welcome them all back to Earth, and and if you look at the pod there that they're exiting,
not dirty. It's
there are no scorch marks on that thing
exactly
at all. It is
every spacecraft that goes up through that has that friction of coming down. So,
yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I mean, even going up, it'll have some friction marks.
Of course, like
going
anything in the
up,
news,
so-
don't trust your sources.
Yes,
Cross-check that.
don't trust mainstream media.
Well, yeah, just don't trust any of it, because who knows that he actually said it? Who knows that he's actually doing that?
No, he literally is suing her. You can look up the
Well, why would he sue her?
because he's saying she is the one that gave away that it wasn't real.
Well, I'm sorry. He didn't dispel the rumors that it was real.
No, he
that it wasn't real. He didn't come out. That's pretty crappy.
And she's pretty much put a countersuit into motion already, basically saying he's full of shit. But
they tried, whether they try to put one over on us or not, I don't know. To me, it's irrelevant either way.
I'm not going. I won't go to space. I'll never be able to afford to go in space.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't survive going into space.
Yeah,
I don't like heights.
That's true. I don't like falling from heights.
When they get transporters and stuff, that might be. I might go to space that way. But you're going first.
Once you go through a transporter, you're never the same person. You're a facsimile of yourself.
That might be the case.
They're taking your atoms or whatever and disassembling them, then reassembling.
They're putting you apart at the quantum
level,
and then reassembling you by molecule by molecule.
You're a molecule man. I don't know. Something like that. But, oh dear. So it sounds like crap.
That's basically she's suing him for being full of shit.
He said, Raz says, if they let me fill out a form, I'll leave everything behind, including the wife, and go live stream from Mars. How's your wife going to feel about that? But, hey, Raz, I know you're busy, but if you want to come on stream, or if anybody want to come on stream, I can handle what? How many can we handle? 5 total, including us. So it's
6 total.
6. So that means I can take 4 more people. If anybody, he said she can watch. His wife can watch. That's funny. But if anybody wants to come on cam or whatever and talk anything, it's pretty much open discussion. Whatever y'all want to talk about, we're just kind of killing time and having fun. And that's of course after you hit that thumbs up button and all that good stuff you're supposed to do. But
like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you to
especially that last one.
Yeah, subscribe.
Don't forget to leave a comment because that's important. Even if it's hey, how you doing? It's still
or you
engagement,
guys
and it helps things along. So.
Yeah, engagement's fun. We like people engaged. Everyone's so busy. It's nice to not be terribly busy right now. I do have a lot on my plate, though. A lot of things I'm already planning ahead towards, and Caveman knows, but not many know what I'm working on. But so hopefully that things come together. It's a secret. And,
all right, we'll see you, Raz. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Raz. Everybody go check out Raziel.
Raziel Kane Reviews
on YouTube and probably Instagram. He's on there too.
Yes, he's on
He's
Instagram.
got a lot of cool interviews with people. He's really good at what he does, and he hit 1,000 subs a couple months ago, I think, and he's flying past 1,000 now.
Yeah.
He's like,
I might hit that this year. I'm getting close.
I think you're going to hit it this year. I really do. And you need to pinpoint days, or if you can get it down to days, that would be great, or at least weeks or months of when you hit certain milestones on your subs. Maybe start tracking.
I use the certificates you get in
the TubeBuddy.
Because they have the dates on them. So
yeah, I'll save them to
that's what I never print them out, but I always save them to I got a file.
But years ago, I did it with my Savannah on Film YouTube channel, and I was tracking that because before I started working on the Geek Homeworld, I was really big into the Savannah on Film one, and I built that up pretty decent to about 120 subs. So it'll be fun when this main channel here surpasses that, and I hope sooner than later. But either way.
Yeah, it happens. Look, it happens when it happens, man. You can't really.
But you know, the thing is, though, I wonder if subs are really even a thing. I mean, you know, there's the new thought is that
I feel like
subs
it's just
don't
an
matter.
arbitrary number that they picked to say, okay, we can't just make everybody monetize. That costs us too much money, even though only I'm
Yeah, it
paying
feels
them
like a threshold, but you know
2 cents, a half a cent an ad or whatever.
So like here's it's like each milestone. Like I want to put this up what Raz said. He said you get each milestone up to 1,000 times quicker than the previous one. And he also said, so if it took a year to hit 100, it'd be 9 months to hit 200 and 7 to hit 300. Do you find that generally was what?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
But
And
that in itself,
I can't say that will be everybody's experience,
right?
But yeah, it's very similar to what he's saying there is very similar to what I have experienced.
Well, that's
and
the other thing
it
too.
may just be because we're in similar niches. Although he's kind of a niche ahead of me too, because he does a lot of those voice actor interviews and stuff.
Right.
More than
but the thing when you get to it being so specific as that, and that's still not terribly specific, it makes me think that there's something behind it, you know, because 9 months to hit 200. Okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with the metric of it, but I do in the sense that it's like if you don't hit it 9 months, hit 200, you know, if you do hit it all the time, if that happened to be for everyone, then that tells me it's fixed. The whole system is fixed, and it probably is.
That's not going to be everybody's,
because
experience.
I find it hard to believe all these people, because going way back when we were just audio podcasting, back when we I think had that Moonfruit site, we had 1,000 like followers, and those were the days of like audio podcasts, and so we were some of the early adopters of that in that field, and we hardly ever got anybody to like response. You know how you're supposed to get,
there was no interaction.
There's no interaction. And YouTube is so much, especially with live streams and stuff now. So I've gotten 95 people, but I know a lot, like 86 or so % of my people, and I could be off on that metric, I haven't looked at it in a while, are unsubscribed. So I know a lot of unsubscribed people, or people that don't.
Oh yeah, there's definitely, you know,
they're watching.
If I could switch my unsubbed watchers with my subbed watcher, it would be a big difference in you know, that metric at least. I'm not going to say it would give me more. It wouldn't give me more watch hours.
Right.
But, you know, it would kick the sub numbers way up. But, you know, I mean, there's some people out there who start up and, you know, within a month, they're already monetized. And you see all these ads,
all those
coming at
videos.
You. Oh, pay whatever a month and no bots and real people and we'll get you there. And, you know, I don't
see it in their comments.
I mean,
I never see it in the comments. We're like, I got 95 subs, and I'm not throwing stones at anybody. I appreciate everybody that's listening and watching, and that's fine if you don't interact that way. If you just want to watch and, you know, click the thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, I appreciate you. I really do, I honestly do. But
and you know, any kind of interaction like that, it counts, and it helps your channel to grow.
It does help to grow. It does. You know, I used to not believe that, but I see that it does. And you know, I go deep. Sometimes we've both gone deep into the metrics, which TubeBuddy, even on the unpaid version, has a lot of great metrics in there. And
not sponsored by TubeBuddy.
Not sponsored by TubeBuddy unless they want to. I will take a check. But anyway, it would be good to just see that, to know that I have, what's the saying? It's better to have 10 rabid followers than 100. And you know, those 100 that don't interact. You know, it'd be nice to see the interaction, and we get some interaction here, and especially in the live streams. That's why I prefer doing the live streams. And honestly, I've done less and less since I've really focused this last year. I've really almost, I won't say stopped, but I've really cut down the audio podcasting. I got to like 180 something episodes, and I'm not stopping the podcast. It's just I get a lot of listeners over there, but nobody interacts with me on the audio podcast whatsoever. I know people are listening, but nobody interacts with anything. And then and the fact that it's become so easy now, but with using StreamYard, not sponsored by StreamYard, the free version. Your prices are too expensive, StreamYard. Please lower them for small people like me. But thank you, StreamYard. We appreciate you. The features of that, and in conjunction with YouTube and all that, it would seem like that you'd have more interaction. It's easier. Well, it's just easier for me to come on a live stream. Boom. I've already pretty much got everything set up.
There's almost zero prep work for as far as getting stream going. Of course, you should plan ahead and kind of know what your stream is going to be about. But it's almost zero effort for anybody to jump on and do a live stream. Yeah. And whereas with audio podcasts, it's a little bit more involved.
Right.
And especially in the editing portion of this right here, I mean, it is what it is, and there's really no editing involved unless you really wanted to edit,
because if you set up your stream ahead of time, then you just let it go and it goes straight to YouTube, to my channel, and people can watch it there. And like I did a stream the other day. I just I played some Command and Conquer, and I finally thought I had figured everything out. Then there was somebody in there, a couple people in the chat when I was live, but like 30 people watched it, and nobody has told me, guess what? You get an echo in it. When I went to go listen to it back, I was like, oh, there's an echo. I thought it was just on my end. So I had to troubleshoot that again.
Well, I'm having some audio issues with my new phone.
Like what is it?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. My last phone had a 3.5 millimeter jack on it.
And those are
new phones don't have that. It's all.
I told you not to get rid of your phone, bro.
It felt like it was time, man.
I'm sure it did. And after a while, it probably got slow and smaller.
No. I mean, the battery life on it has, it's not nearly as good as what it was. But I've had that phone 6 years, maybe 5, 6 years.
Well, I mean, you need to just. Well, you don't film. You film with your phone, don't you?
I film with my phone, and
your videos are going to be much better looking. I guarantee with this.
They might be better looking, but I don't know if they're going to be better sounding. I'm actually having to use this mic for it because I've tried several different dongles for my shotgun mic,
right?
And it's so I can't have any of that. Definitely and this one, while this, it doesn't sound bad, it just sounds very flat when I'm using it on my phone. I don't know, does it sound flat coming through here? Or,
not necessarily. I mean, you sound flat all the time. No, I'm sorry. No, it sounds fine to me. But the thing is, though, you might go in your phone in your settings, like your sound settings, and see if there's an equalizer of some sort.
I've looked. I haven't found it yet.
But there could be presets for like voice. Like I noticed when I'm on my phone.
Not in the camera.
Okay. Well,
it does have a neat little feature like the internal microphones. It can, it can record in front, or if you have the camera on reverse, it records in reverse.
But there's
it does a 360 recording, but there's just too much. There's too much noise.
Because you got an air conditioned, you got like a window unit up there, don't you?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
You don't? You never got anything up there?
No, it just when we replaced the AC
system
unit, it helped a little bit more. Plus, when we did the roof, we found out that there's a ridge vent right over the top of this room. But whoever had put the last roof on, they left the shingles covering up the gap and then just put the vent on top of it. So it was holding all that heat in.
Oh, so it wasn't venting properly.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't venting properly.
So you can
now
tell a
it's
difference?
much better now. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember it was like, the dungeon of hell up there.
Yeah, it could get really friggin' hot up here.
Yeah.
But no, that's not too much. Now, and that's not to say, when it's really hot outside, it doesn't get pretty warm in here. Sometimes it does.
Right.
And, you have to choose your times. Like when the air conditioners are in, that's when you have to come up here.
Exactly.
So,
but it could be, I mean, have you thought about, like, I know Rode makes them, but they're probably cheaper versions. Like an audio interface, like I'm using, I think I sound pretty good, but I'm using an audio interface right now, and I've got microphone and the boom arm and all that stuff out.
Well, I try to do it all on the inexpensive side.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I did. The least expensive.
I can't get a Rode Procaster or whatever.
Rodecaster Pro. Yeah, they're
that
about
thing. That's
$400.
just not in my.
Well, there's a lot of cool things you can do
range.
with it, but even a smaller, they have cheaper versions, but there's like Go XLRs and other things.
So,
like
I thought about buying another shotgun mic, but I feel like I'm just going to have the same issue.
I mean, your sound isn't bad. Sometimes it sounds a little muffled when you're on other streams, but this, it looks bright. You look better on this one. It actually, because there's been times you've looked very yellowish. Your room has that.
And I don't know why, because like all the lights, just my main light is off. But I did
the sensor on that old camera
a couple of months ago. It's just still the same camera in my computer.
I
did like a couple of months ago. I did change out the lights over here to like
the white.
What I had in before was like the daylight ones.
Okay.
So it was
I've got one.
These are like the bright white.
Oh, okay.
So I got to change out the ones on this side too.
Yeah. But yeah, you also want a little glow. See, like you probably need a little bit more like face on your. Well, I guess probably the brim of your hat, because you got a little shadow like right up here.
Well, yeah, that's what's doing that. I'm sorry, I'm having a bad hair day.
That's okay.
I was in the zone. I forgot we had a live stream.
Yeah, I was like 5. I was like, we're on in 5, and he's like, he forgot about me. I was like, maybe you had another graduation.
Well, it was, there's always an emergency.
I know, last minute
when you get ready to come on.
Yeah, it usually is.
So,
but
and this time it was my son lost his earbuds.
Yeah, he lost a note last week, and then he lost his earbuds.
I feel like he loses them once a week.
He's trying to get an upgrade.
Quit losing your stuff, dude.
Usually, when I lose something, I say, "Well, that's God's way of telling me I need an upgrade."
I didn't need it.
But yeah. So
well, I think those things are designed to get lost.
Oh, they are. I'm sure.
They're so small.
I'm sure.
Well, I worked on this today.
Let me put you on blast here, as they say. That's the new Dark series, or Moff Gideon. Damn, that looks like him, dude.
It does. I know his hair was lighter in the 3rd season, but I think they got too light with it.
They might have got too light, because he has gray in there, I think, a little bit, if I remember correctly. He's got a little gray in, or does he? Or other things I've seen him in.
Yeah, he does.
Little streaks of gray. That looks dope. I like it. But
and I was on a Star Wars kick today.
So
I worked on
R2.
It's
They have
the episode 3 retro carded 20th
Yeah,
anniversary.
where that's pretty
R2D2.
cool. Where he has a jet, he has all these like jets on the side there. I like that.
Yeah, it's just one on each side. But
Interesting that they're blue and not red like fire, but I guess the red would clash. The blue looks more
it's
in the color
propane,
scheme.
man. It's propane.
It's propane. Is that Shock T?
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
Shock T.
Badass.
Yeah, that the deco and stuff and the sculpt on the face is fantastic.
They
And the
did a
head
real
tails.
good job. Now, who's that? Who's that by? Or what
Hasbro.
brand? Hasbro. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's Black Series.
Are those some of the upcoming videos we're going to see? Or
Yes, these are ones I'm working on.
oh, that's
Right
gosh,
now.
what's her name?
Luminara.
Luminara. That's right. Damn, that's awesome.
And I mean, look at like the
Detail.
I don't know if those are tattoos on her chin.
It almost blends in with her
I'm
neck
too
piece
shaky.
there.
So I don't know if those are
Maybe.
spots that her species has, or
I don't know.
if it's tattoos. And then this is the 20th anniversary Kit Fisto.
Sweet. Yeah, Kit, the smiling Jedi.
Yeah, he ain't smiling too much here.
Remember what he said after
This
he
is
smiled?
this is in the Chancellor's office right before you know
I was gonna
what.
say, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He smiled and he goes, ugh, when he got
Pretty
sliced
much.
in half.
Ah!
Yeah. Roger, Roger.
Yeah,
You
it's the
froze.
commando
There you go.
droid from the
Oh, he ain't got no
Home
drawers
Wars.
on?
Do what?
He ain't got no drawers on. He's commando.
Yeah, he ain't got no drawers on either.
Oh dear. No wonder he's mad. Sweet.
And then this is Clone Commander Bakara, who is, famous in episode 3 for Order 66 and Kiadi Mundi.
So something
He was too worried about the droid attack on the Wookiees.
Yeah. So if there's ever an Order 66 on you and you're who do you leaving your
I'm screwed. I got too many clones and stormtroopers, and
are your kids gonna fight over your Star Wars collection that the old man
probably
had?
not. They don't care.
They'll be in the holographic stuff by then or something, or Bitcoin, or who knows what the hell kids are into. Oh, that is damn it. What's his name? He's got a mold on his head.
This is Prince Zizor. At least
That's
that's how I always pronounced it. From Shadows of the Empire.
okay. Yeah, it's like, where do I know him from? Damn, he looks sweet.
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah. Are you excited for the Darth Maul animated series? I am.
I didn't know it was going to be animated.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's animated.
And then I don't know if I showed you this one or not.
Scott.
Yeah, this is the X Factor.
I keep mine in the package. Oops. Let's see. Hold on.
That's the one you got at Joe Fest.
Yeah, well, our Scott off. No, this is the one you got me for Christmas, bro.
Oh.
I didn't buy anything at Joe Fest, remember?
You did. You bought some of them X-Men.
I did? I did buy this at Joe Fest then.
You might
yeah, I did buy this at
I
Joe
got
Fest.
you. I know I got you one. That might have been one I got you, but then you bought like Wolverine and Rogue, I think.
I did. They're right here. Yeah, Wolverine and Rogue.
At Joe Fest, because they were
You're right.
They were kind of inexpensive, and you were like, "Oh, I want a souvenir." Yeah,
and I still kick myself that I didn't just get in trouble with the wife and spend $80 and get that $6 million man doll. So I'm gonna beg and plead this year and promise everything so I can get that. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't been running my lights, and today I turned them on, and only 2 of them work. All the batteries, the 43 batteries I haven't even, all of them are dead.
That's a lot of batteries to have to replace, man.
I'm not replacing them again, so I'll just get me an LED
Just get
light.
you some LED strips.
That's what I'll do.
This came in today.
Oh, Red Sonja. Oh my gosh. Wow.
This is the Boss Fight Studios Epic Acts. So I'll be working on this probably tomorrow. And I actually found this in a Walmart.
Oh wow, is that Rex? No,
Yeah, it's Phase 1 Rex.
Captain Rex. Sweet.
And then I needed to make some shipping on a thing at Walmart.com, and this was on sale, so I got this one too.
G.I. Joe. It's Jody the Shooter Craig.
Yes.
The classified series.
It's
G.I.
classified. She could tell you about it, but then
she'd have to kill you.
Shooter you. And here's an older one I'm working on too. This one, I've had this one about 5 years and just haven't had room to review him.
Oh, it's Old Man Logan, huh?
No, it's just regular man Logan.
Is a regular man Logan?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
He's going to be on the thumbnail. I've already taken a picture of him on the thumbnail. He's drinking a beer. So
That's cool.
I don't know. I may have to change that one. YouTube may say, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm saying it's just an amber liquid. You don't know what it is.
You're small enough; they should not
It
bother
could
you.
be apple cider.
What other cool stuff you got?
That's what I was working on today. I still got some of that stuff you gave me for Christmas. I'm working on.
Getting to it.
Yeah,
I still got some. I don't want to unbox everything. You know, I probably don't want to unbox everything, but
like this. I'm still working on this one.
Snow Speeder. I like it. I like it.
I was getting a lot.
You know what I was getting? I was like, what would he like that I like? If he doesn't want it, he can give it to me. There's always I'm always thinking of myself, just in case. Well, if he doesn't want it, I'll take it. I found some new stuff on there. I've been adding to my stuff for Ed list on Amazon.
Yeah.
I found a bunch more micro machine stuff on there. It's like click, click, click.
You mean micro?
What did I say? I said micro machines.
Yeah.
There used to be micro machines. That's something totally different.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is similar to it.
Yeah.
Micro Machines actually did a line that was very similar to this, that had vehicles and figures and stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
But the figures, I want to say the figures were just slightly bigger. So everything was just slightly bigger, but nothing was in scale. And I mean, this Micro Fleet Squadron, it's you know, some of it is in scale to the figures, and then some of it is just way out of scale because it's, you know, for them to do a Millennium Falcon. A Millennium Falcon is like, you know, this big around, but for them to do it in scale, it would probably have to be like
much bigger.
You know,
yeah. I saw one that they had. I think it was the Ghost that had the 2 other ships with it.
Yeah.
It was like $60.
That one had 3 other ships. You talk about the one on Amazon?
Yeah.
It had the Ghost. It
Ghost.
had the Phantom 1 shuttle, and it had 2 Y-Wings in it.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like $60 or $80, something like that. I was like, dang. But
no, it's more than that, dude.
Was it? Okay, maybe.
Oh,
well, I saw one that had the 2 ships with the Ghost. It had Phantom and something else. And it had figures, and you could like open it up, and you could put the figures inside and move them around.
There may have been a bundle somebody put together. I don't know. Sometimes you find that on Amazon where there's
it looked official, so
like one big ship and
a
smaller one, or maybe some blind boxes with it or something like that.
Right, right.
At least I've seen that.
Right.
Yeah, here's the last. Or the first Moff Gideon.
Let's see. You got the other one we can compare him. He looks great. Yeah, his hair looks rare. His face looks. Let's look at the face first. The face looks different.
Yeah, the face doesn't. I mean, it looks like him. You can tell who it is.
But it's not.
But it doesn't. It's not like this one. You know. I can't even see what the hell I'm doing.
They look totally different. He looks more, the one on the right, the newer one looks more doe-eyed. It looks a better complexion, actually.
Yeah,
He's got more. He's got
I
more
will
hair
say
as
this:
well.
like it still has too much. The plastic has too much shine in it.
Yeah,
But I mean, there are ways around that. You can get a dull clear coat, and
Oh, by the way, I wonder if anybody picked up The School Is Out Forever. My
yeah.
Alice
Too
Cooper
bad you couldn't use
graduation.
that.
I know, but what do we got there? So that is Cyclops' optic blast. That looks so cool, dude.
Wait, there's another piece.
Energy blast. Here's one
there's
from a pro.
more.
Good guy or bad guy? Oh, Cyclops, definitely the good guy. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, I think I like that one. It looks weird from that angle. That looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, here he is standing and put Apocalypse right here.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you got to do that.
So that'll be cool. Of course, he does come with some, he comes with fists on the figure, but of course he has to have the hand to activate the.
Yeah. Right.
And then just like a stop evil mutant.
To me, my X-Men. But
oh, man. But like the retro R2D2, he doesn't have to have the jets on all the time. He's got the pieces that remove, and you just plug the jets in.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And the retro packaging.
I like the retro packaging.
Dude, this is like the front side of this is exactly, well, I won't say it's exactly, but it's very much in the vein of the original 3 3/4 inch packaging that they used, when the Revenge of the Sith stuff first came out 20 years ago.
Right.
And I would say that's probably, other than the Kenner, the original Kenner packaging, that's probably my favorite, is that Revenge of the Sith. Plus they had so much cool stuff.
Right.
And it wasn't even that bad priced at the time.
Yeah.
Even at the time. Because you get a big, Arc 170, the fighter from the very beginning there of Revenge of the Sith, the ones that were behind Obi-Wan and Anakin that got the crap blowed out of them. So those, I remember them being like $45-$50, something like that. And then like a clone gunship, you could pick up for like $35. And those things are big, dude.
I was looking at
like the wingspan on the gunship is probably like that,
Yeah.
And then it's probably about that tall, and it's probably about that long. I know it's hard to tell.
Well, I saw one model, and I don't know, I'm not good with measurements or whatever, but it was like almost like the life size, not life size, of Star Trek Voyager, and it was like the very large size. And I was like, oh, it's so incredible, and it is so intricate, the designs they had, all the
like some of those kits, like those Polar Lights Enterprise, you can get the I don't know if you can still get it, but they had the motion picture refit Enterprise, and this thing, I cannot remember what the scale is on it, but it's big enough that model makers could actually, like, instead of closing up the shuttle bay, they would build out the inside of the shuttle bay with lights and everything, put little people in shuttlecrafts and everything
Wow.
inside. It was that big. And that doesn't mean to say, like, oh, the figures they put in were this big.
Was it like the size of the G.I. Joe one we saw? The I want to call it a helicarrier. I know that's not what it's called. Remember at Joe Fest last year?
No. It probably wasn't that big. We're talking about the
Oh, okay.
the secondary hull probably is about that long.
Okay. Well,
So
I mean,
that's just the the tube part at the
display
bottom.
that
That's
dude
not counting
had.
the saucer and then sails and.
I mean, that one that they had at Joe Fest was pretty awesome. I'm like, you could tell like I put a lot of.
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff
you talking
into
about the one where he
and
had
the
all the
vending
levels
machines.
to it?
Yeah, the arcade machines, the vending machines.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they were
that
for
was super
sale too.
cool.
I was like,
Yeah, he did have a lot of that stuff for sale.
yeah, I was like, he did.
And if I was still into 3 3/4, I would probably have picked up some of that stuff. But
are you at near maximum capacity in the man cave there for figures, or there's
I got
because
to
you're in
clean
smaller
up.
scale?
I got to clean up like my
Is there anything boxed that you don't have displayed?
Oh yeah. All my Marvel Legends are boxed right now because accidentally, like, I have these 2 8-foot tables
right
on either side of me, and when I was moving the desk that I'm at right now in here, I ended up breaking the lower shelf on this one, and so I have yet to replace it. So all my Marvel Legends are boxed up because that's where they go.
Sweet. Yeah.
But I mean, the way things look and the things they're announcing and stuff, it's going to be probably less and less of that, and Black Series as well, and especially Transformers right now is like super slow for me because all I'm looking to do with those 3 lines is kind of fill in holes in my collection with characters that I like that I don't necessarily have, or versions of them. I almost passed on the Cyclops and X Factor because they did the gene that goes along with this one, but it was a damn Target exclusive. And if you collect anything Hasbro and it says Target exclusive, you just you're like crap hole. And then Walmart, I won't say Walmart's as bad about that, but they're both bad about canceling pre-orders and
I hate that.
Telling you.
Like, oops.
And then get the stuff in stock.
Then you're like, why the hell did I even bother?
Yeah.
Do you at least get your money back, or
well, the thing with big retailers like that and Big Bad Toy Store and stuff, when you pre-order, you're not paying ahead of time. You're only paying when the stuff comes in. Except like at Big Bad Toy Store, now they do have like some of their higher priced items, and that generally, I'm saying that for stuff that's over $100.
Right.
If it's over $100, they may or may not have a non-refundable deposit on it, and it's usually like 10% of what the cost is. So if it's $101, you have to put like $10.50 down. That's not refundable. So if you do that, make sure it's something that you really, really want and something you can afford. Otherwise, you're out.
What you really, really want. Yeah. Well, that would suck if I got the pre-order on something. They canceled the pre-order, didn't tell me, and I'm thinking it's going to arrive, and then all of a sudden I go to the store and see the stuff there, and then they sell out before I get the one I want, or I would be super pissed.
And I will say with this 20th anniversary Star Wars line, the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, I have been seeing the figures in the store. Not all the figures.
Yeah.
I saw a Dooku. I saw a couple of R2-D2s, and I saw some.
I should have really invested in some. I've really just been so busy with school. It's all I've been
Dude,
doing.
I'm gonna tell you, if you come across that Dooku, pick up that Dooku, because that Dooku is, to me, it's probably the best Dooku on the market. It's the best looking out of all the Black Series figures that I have, Dooku is the best looking one. And a lot of people say it even looks better than some of the higher end figures like SH Figure Arts and
kind of adjacent to
in
what
that
we're talking
vein.
about. I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm sure I've thought this, and I feel like I've asked you this question at some point, but I don't actually know what Vader means. Where did Darth
It's
Sidious
father. It
come up
means
with
father.
Vader?
Darth
Does
Vader means dark father in
Does
like
it
Dutch or
really?
something. Yeah.
Wow. That wasn't after Empire came out, and then they say, "Oh, it means father now." You know, Vader means father.
No. And that's not in universe. That's in like in the Netherlands or Dutch
Like for
or
real.
something like that. Darth
Wow.
Vader means dark father. Yeah.
That's perfect.
And I could be mistaken on which language it is, but
No. But well, somebody said, you know, the guy that was not really a Star Wars fan, but Star Wars Theory was tearing his criticisms of Revenge of the Sith out. That was a terrible movie. He was just rebuking everything he had to say. And this guy, I think, was just doing it for clicks and views to piss
he
people off because
probably
that's what he
was.
does. And he's like, it's worse than I remember it, and all this and that. And, you know, I'm glad that the fans have come back around and appreciated the prequels. They weren't perfect, but they're appreciating them more.
I've never hated the prequels. Now I can't say I've never hated Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
But you know, the Clone Wars kind of changed my mind on Jar Jar Binks because what they did with him in the Clone Wars, while it wasn't, you know, a serious thing, he was still the goofy ass Jar Jar Binks.
Right.
But you know, where they put him in, it fit. Whereas,
yeah, well, that's what Lucas purposely
one,
did that. So he basically sells out the Republic.
He put Jar Jar Binks in there for kids.
Right. And after the backlash of Jar Jar and Ahmad Best getting some of that hatred too, which he didn't deserve.
No.
You know,
definitely not.
But putting him there and him being the one to vote in place of Padme for the creation of the clone army or whatever, emergency powers for the So I think that's a good fitting thing for Jar Jar. He deserved that. But no.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, in episode 1, he felt out of place. You know, it didn't feel like he really fit.
You know, Obi-Wan wasn't very nice to him. He says, we picked up another.
Wasn't very nice to anybody in episode 1.
He was like, we picked up another useless life form.
Like, another pathetic life form when he was talking about
form.
I see we picked up another pathetic life form. Yeah, Obi-Wan was not very nice to anybody in
the cocky little Padawan.
Yeah.
And
and I mean, you can even see it like in the council chambers when he's talking to you know, when Qui-Gon is addressing the council, he's giving his report, and then more to say you have, Master Qui-Gon, and you know, and he starts talking about all the chosen one stuff and virgins in the Force, and he'll take the child as his Padawan, and they're like, "No, you can't do that. You already have a Padawan."
I love that there's so much.
I am ready.
There's so much more.
And I'm ready.
Love for because everybody was like, "Oh, it's Obi-Wan." He was like, felt like the main character, and Qui-Gon just kind of felt like it was there to me when it first came out. But over time, people have really embraced Qui-Gon as an important Jedi because he learned the path to immortality. So,
not just that, but
he was a good.
It turns out that Qui-Gon was right all along.
He was, and
Qui-Gon had the Jedi was all about not sticking to the dogma.
Right. He was like focus on the living force,
the will of the living force.
And just like Luke is always looking somewhere else to the future, like Yoda said, that's basically what Qui-Gon said. He's like, I got a bad feeling about this in episode 1. He goes, I don't sense anything. Yeah, and he said it's something somewhere else elusive. He's like, concentrate on the living force, concentrate on the here and now.
Yeah.
Don't center your anxieties on the future or whatever. And that's a good point. And Dave Filoni made the masterful comparison when they had that, all the people that were around, it was years ago, and they were talking about it. And this is how he proved his love for the prequels, and he said, it's really the fate of Anakin in Episode 1 that had Qui-Gon not died, he would have become a Jedi, and Anakin would have been on the light side and stayed on there, I think, and been raised properly.
Well,
but Qui-Gon was a father figure, and Obi-Wan was not set up to be a father figure. He was more like a brother, older brother to him. And Anakin really needed that father figure there. And that's what Qui-Gon was.
If Qui-Gon had stayed alive and filled that father figure role for Anakin, he never would have been seduced by Palpatine, because Palpatine kind of took on that fatherly role.
He did. And
even though, he never said, "Oh, I'm like your father," or Anakin never said, "You're like my father," or what, they only ever said that they were friends, but Palpatine did fill that role for Anakin. And so, and because Qui-Gon was dead, and it really, it
was a battle for the soul of Anakin.
Of the Jedi,
which is fantastic.
When Dooku learns of Qui-Gon's death at the hands of a Sith Lord, I'm really kind of surprised that he continued on his dark path, unless it was a case of he was so disillusioned.
Well, didn't Yoda say to Luke, once you travel down the dark side,
once you start down
forever will it dominate your destiny.
It will dominate your destiny.
So you're
and for some people that could be true, because
it's hard to walk it back.
Anakin didn't. Right there at the end, he was able to, like you said, walk it back. And so it's not.
Had he just stayed in the chambers, had he just listened to Mace Windu. Somebody said, "What if Mace Windu would have been his master?" Shit.
I think I've watched that thing on YouTube.
And it's pretty interesting, but
listen to it.
I can't remember all of it.
I don't remember either.
My thoughts would be, he would have taught him,
kind of run together,
He would have flirted. He would have told them those secrets of the dark side. I think he would have, but he would have made sure that he didn't succumb to it. So I still think, he would have been better off with any of the other Jedi.
I think if Mace had trained him, he would have trusted him more.
Right.
But if Mace had trained him, his friendship with Palpatine would not have been allowed.
Exactly.
Because, Mace Windu is,
he would have had proper adult supervision.
He's what they refer to as a master of the order. He's trained, several Jedi who were on the council.
Right.
Or at least one. But I think it was 2 or 3 he might have trained that were on the council. So, and his regimen would not have been easy on Anakin.
Oh no.
At all.
He could have presented.
Obi-Wan was inexperienced. He'd never been a master before.
Right.
And here he is with the future of the Force dumped in his lap because he made a promise to Qui-Gon.
It's kind of like the training I got when I had my first mentor in the film industry. And he's like, "Well, I've never mentored anyone." Kind of showed. But oh well.
So
mentors are
important. The council never should have allowed Obi-Wan to train Anakin. They never should have allowed it.
And he was already doing it, so he's like, "I'm going to continue anyway, Master." And he goes,
"I'm going to do it well." And that's that's where the council censors him. "No, you're not. You're going to do what we tell you to do."
Right. And he's like, "Too much arrogance I see in the."
You're not training him. You don't have the experience to train the future of the Force.
Yeah, and he said, "What did he say?
Handle it."
Too much arrogance I see in the younglings,
and the old ones too,
and the old
and
ones
the older
too.
Jedi too. Yeah.
And he's like, "That."
But that wasn't until Episode 2.
Right. And,
but that kind of that's kind of like Yoda pointing the finger at himself too, even though that's not the way that he meant it. but because the Jedi Order fell to Palpatine's machinations because they couldn't
even
see beyond their own rules and regulations.
Right. And they thought it's kind of like they thought everybody would play by the rules. Bad guys aren't going to play by the rules. That's their nature not to.
That's right.
And so they should have seen that. It's kind of like,
and they were kind of, the Jedi as a whole were kind of cocky to begin with because, even with Darth Maul showing up and, when Qui-Gon was reporting about that to the council, they doubted it.
There's no way they could have.
There's no way this could be a Sith Lord because they've been dead for 1,000 years.
And what did Mace say about Dooku? It's like he was a Jedi. He couldn't be a Sith or whatever he said. I forgot how he said it.
He's not a murderer, but I think that was Ki-Adi-Mundi that said that. Yeah. Of course, What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Yes. Good relations I have with the Wookiees. But I saw those different. One channel did all the different. What if Yoda?
What's about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
What if Yoda didn't face Palpatine? What if
Obi-Wan?
One was what if Mace did it, and Mace basically had him beat, and then Anakin.
If Anakin hadn't showed up, he was done for, man. The Sith would have been dead.
Yeah,
and then we wouldn't have got the classic trilogy.
Right.
Or the OG trilogy, original trilogy, whatever you want to call
it. But there's, even though what's going to happen in episode 3, all the beats it has to hit with Vader and the twins being born and all that stuff and everything, even though all that, I've always loved Revenge of the Sith. It's by far my favorite of the prequels.
Oh, it is the best of the prequels.
And Phantom Menace would be number 2. And then Clones would be number 3 for me. And there are some things I don't know.
I think I'd have to do 3, 2, 1. Just reverse order on it because
1 and 2 are close but 2 is starting to feel like a video game, and 3, by the time we got into it, like when we get to the battles, it felt very video game-ish, which I guess is the times it was in and where the CGI was going. But I think of the proportion of Yoda. He's what, literally 3 feet, maybe 3-4 feet tall.
Yeah, something like that. Probably 3.
Okay, and Dooku had to be at least 6'1", something like that.
Oh yeah, he was over. Christopher Lee was over 6 foot. So
even with Yoda's smaller lightsaber, because he'd have a smaller lightsaber, and yet it would just be like if you're fighting someone. Yes, Yoda had to do all those flips and all. That made it an interesting battle, but you're going to be dizzy after doing a lot of them flips if you're Yoda. You're like, I had to rest from it. I'm dizzy. And he's
doing all
just
doing
this. Yeah, I know. And it was believable, but in real life, I feel like there's like 4-inch difference or 4 foot, 3 or 4 foot difference between them. It's gonna, be kind of hard.
Well, you have to take into account. Yes, but judge him by his size, do you?
No, I know. That you should not.
His ally is the Force, and a powerful ally.
Powerful ally it is.
Not to mention,
it's a thread.
He's like going on 900 years old.
Right.
Let's just say he's 870 in the prequels. Let's just say that.
So what if Yoda,
how many years has he been practicing those lightsaber techniques?
Yeah.
And knowing how to use the Force to enhance that, to not make him dizzy.
Right.
So
that's true, yeah. Well, another thing too, what if Yoda would have beaten Sidious? Where would we, well, obviously all that transpired wouldn't have happened, but
the Jedi would have learned nothing. And they would have rebuilt the Order to be exactly the same as it was before. Because
he's too dangerous to be left alive. He owns the courts. He controls the courts. So he would have got off and said, "Oh, because in the book for novelization of Revenge of the Sith, it's a little bit different story because he has a recorder on the video recorder.
Yes,
so
it lets you know, and that's how he turns the public opinion against the
Right.
Jedi.
He's like,
Is
look,
because he has that
4 Jedi
recording.
came in here and
And tried to
attacked
kill me.
and tried to kill me.
Tried
And
to
so,
assassinate me. Look at my poor face. Now I look
Yeah.
like I have an ass on my forehead. It's all wrinkly.
you know what's interesting though about that is when what's his name? When Sidious, like in episode 3, when he doesn't have the hood on, he looks a certain way. And just when he pulls that hood to a certain point and that shadow hits his head the right way, he looks like the Emperor from, the original trilogy.
Well, you have
It's
to.
interesting how it's like I could be fooled.
I thought the makeup for that in Revenge of the Sith, I thought it was a little bit too
overdone,
poofy. Right? It's almost like it made his head bigger than it needed to be. And
well, it reminded me of the
when you look at
Bram
pictures
Stoker's
of
Dracula
him in the makeup in Revenge of the Sith, and then you go back and you look at Return of the Jedi, it's much smaller. Of course, that could be the difference in, when he was younger, he was much slimmer. Not that he was a big fat dude or anything.
Could be in Revenge of the Sith, he just got electrocuted by his own electricity, so maybe he was swole up.
Could be puffy and stuff.
Over time,
to me in Revenge of the Sith, that it looks, it's too much. It's
I think they made him more menacing, and they could do more with makeup in 30 or whatever.
Well,
years
that's true. But and plus, in Return of the Jedi, most everything we see is him with the hood up. True. So I mean, that's not to say I don't hate his look in Revenge of the Sith. I'm not saying that. It just to me, it just always looked like it was too much more than what it should have been. But you may have a point there. He just got electrocuted and his face is kind of puffy and
and I never thought I thought there was some talk because originally when I watched it, I didn't get that the lightning did that to him. I mean, even though I saw that, it more registered in my head that Force users, dark side users, when they use the lightning, it's unnatural to the human body. So you're generating electricity, and that could really wear the body down, overall. So, I thought maybe, I don't know what I figured why he was deformed that way.
I always thought in Return of the Jedi, as a kid and seeing that and then, after and coming up with your own stuff,
theories for it.
I always thought that he looked that way because he was a dark side user and the dark power was,
right. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah. It made him that way. The ugliness on the inside.
And I mean,
on the outside.
You could make an argument that maybe, what we saw of Palpatine was just some type of Force illusion. And when he got struck with the lightning, he couldn't maintain it or didn't care to maintain it but no, it's actually the lightning, Force lightning. Didn't do that to Luke in Return of the Jedi though.
But that's funny though. Even a guy's trying to kill me or whatever, and I'm doing that lightning and it's baking my face, literally.
Yeah, why don't I quit doing that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But in the moment he did that, Mace could have just went, and chopped him up. But I don't know. What was another thing I was going to say? Yeah, and the weakest thing in Revenge of the Sith is, and we've talked about this many times since, but recently, Padme dying. I would since they were all about the midichlorians in the prequels, I would have said because of the high midichlorian count that it stole the midichlorians that she had, and so she having twins like Luke and Leia. Not that they killed their mother. That's but she died in childbirth because they were so full of the Force that the midichlorians or something. I needed a medical reason for her to die. Other
know,
than she just gave up.
What you're saying there kind of touches on something I saw earlier last week, I guess it was, maybe, that, you know, in episode 1, when Anakin first meets Padme, he asked her,
right,
you know, are you an angel? Well,
Yeah.
they're saying it's because he wasn't seeing her physical form.
He was like
He
seeing
was
her
seeing
in
her
the
form
Force,
within the Force.
which is interesting.
And so to him, she looked like descriptions that the old spacers had told him about angels.
So did Padme have the Force? I guess everybody has midichlorians in them in that knowledge, in the same vein of thought. Did she have any latent force powers that weren't,
I
developed?
don't believe so.
I don't think she did,
I
but
think what it was like, if that is the case, and that's why he said that, I think it's because she was so pure of heart.
Also, it could be that she, maybe Anakin, because he was so high in midichlorians, he kind of saw things through the Force more
Well,
than
that's
regular
you know,
humans.
that's what it was getting at, and it's not that he saw everybody like that.
It's like he kind of saw their aura about them a little bit,
But
to an
apparently
extent.
it was just Padme. It wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, you figure a powerful Jedi like Qui-Gon, he'd see his Force image, but you know, he never says anything like that.
That's true. He doesn't, so that kind of dispels that.
So, or you know, it just could be him, you know, 9-year-old no game trying to hit on a, you know, 14-year-old girl.
She probably was, beautiful to him. He probably not seen it because a lot of people he probably saw. I don't mean to say this the way it sounds, but they were kind of,
he was 9 and she was 12.
She
maybe.
she probably looked like royalty to him.
Well, I'm not talking about her actual
rugged. Yeah.
You know, well, she wasn't actual royalty, you know, she was elected.
I know, but she looked like she wasn't. I don't want to say, there's something I was going to say, but I'm not going to say that because it sounds derogatory. But he was around a lot of other slaves, and they didn't probably have the the best makeup and stuff like that. So, I don't know. But
not to mention the little Greedo one made fun of Anakin.
Oh, I saw one of those micro, not machines, what's it called?
Micro Fleet Squadron.
Micro Squadron TIE fighters that had some of the fins of the TIE fighter were like blown apart on there, like it had battle damage. I was like, I put that in my likes. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because you don't see a lot of those,
No, you don't. And it's like a lot of this stuff I never see on Amazon. I never see in the store. Of course, I don't think my Walmart's carrying
anything
Micro Fleet Squadron anymore.
Yeah.
But where you see it at is at Jazzwares. You go to Jazzwares site and you go, looking through their stuff, and they sell it. I can't say I've seen it sold individually. Excuse me. But they'll sell stuff in box sets. Like they will sell a box set of the entire wave of a specific class of vehicle, or they may have one that has everything in it, all the classes, even like the blind boxes, and they're not blind boxes, it's actually one of each, but they run kind of high. But I've seen like a box set of Red Squadron. So you got Luke and Wedge and Biggs, and all in one set. At least 5. There's 5 of them at least. And then they had to go with that. They had a box set of 5 TIE fighters. And sometimes it's like you can find the box set. It's just like the blind boxes, but again, it's one of each piece instead of being you don't know what you're getting. You're getting.
I was digging your Age of Apocalypse X-Man video the other day. I did like that. I watched your review.
Yeah, see, that's an older figure.
That's not a newer one. I thought it was like
no, that's an older
like
one.
retro. Wow.
No. It's It's ones that I've got sitting that for some reason or another I have not reviewed, and they're just
So
sitting
you're
in a
gonna,
box waiting
so
on
you're
me
gonna
to get an
send.
opening.
You probably had it in the box to send to me when you were done reviewing it.
No, I threw that
I
box
think
away.
you threw that box away. That box has got a hole in it.
That box is gone.
It's gone, brother.
It's gone. I cut the tape and opened it up, and it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, most packaging I don't keep after I do the review.
Yeah.
There's some exceptions. Like a lot of times I might keep, like, stuff comes on retro cards,
Right.
and I'll keep the card.
Of course. Yeah.
I used to keep all the packages for when I back in when I worked over on the island
Right.
with you. I had a whole closet that was nothing but it was just empty packages.
I wish I used to
And
keep my
when I'm-
boxes for the computer games, like, and I tell you, it would probably be a collector's item. The Command and Conquer Red Alert is Red Alert or Red Alert 2. It might have been Red Alert 2. And you opened it up and New York was on fire. The Twin Towers, a plane hit the, it was like it was on the artwork, and they recalled them. We sent them back, and I was like, damn, I had it for a while at home because I had bought it first thing when it came out, and I was like, I bet you that'd be worth something now if I had it. and I miss that. It's like albums. I miss that art. The artwork they would do on those were beautiful.
Yeah, you don't get that on
a download.
MP3.
Yeah, or an MP3, yeah. Yeah, they're trying to bring CDs back. It's like, since everything is, going to disappear, you won't own it and you'll like it, or whatever they say.
Yeah, you won't own it and you'll like it.
Exactly. You'll just rent things.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up because to go along with that, Microsoft announced,
oh dear,
it was either early this week or late last week. They're going to raise the price of consoles by $100.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And by holiday season this year, games will be $70.
Oh, well, I'm already predicting. Well, other people are predicting it. When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I got no problem seeing that thing going over 100. Especially for like the special edition stuff.
If they do everything that they're saying they're doing in it, yeah.
Well, they dropped a trailer the other day and it had like millions upon millions of views.
Trailers can.
That trailer was badass though, and some of that, I know, but a lot of it, they showed some in screen, whatever you call it, stuff, and I was like, it's very impressive.
And one thing about that one is you're supposed to be able to go in and build your own stuff. Like, make your own missions and design your own cars and possibly even make your own city.
Right.
So, I mean, that would be cool. I don't know. That may be beyond me at this point. Because I find that I very rarely play a game anymore. It just
the other day
I
I played Grand Theft Auto.
It doesn't interest me, but
you don't have time.
Yeah, and that and the newer games, I don't really,
gravitate towards them.
It's like, how many times can you play Call of Duty? It's
yeah, and how many
basically the same game over and over.
Well, like when I played Black Ops,
was
it Black Ops or Black Ops 2? I remember which.
It was Black Ops. It was the first one.
Yeah, when we played it online. Yeah, and then after a while, you get those. What still bothers me, in GTA 5 still, when somebody will come along, some idiot, like a guy kept running me over, and I was trying to get somewhere on a mission and forgot the mission.
Yeah, because you were trying to get away from the guy who was trying to kill you.
Yeah, and eventually I found a way to go like, what is it called? Where you're like invisible, kind of, where he can't get me.
Well, I know a lot of times we used to play on basically like private server, but it was like private game. Is what
Yeah,
we used to
yeah,
do.
we used to
Because
do
a
the
lot of
Xbox
times
one.
we weren't even trying to do missions and stuff. We were just messing around.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Having a
how
lot
many
more
how
fun.
many stars can we get by sitting here in this tunnel at the beach and shooting
Exactly.
down helicopters,
Oh yeah, we were like 5
blowing
stars
up
on that. And
boats?
they were coming from all directions. Yeah, if you can find that one place you can just kind of camp, but then
Yeah,
you run out of
you can sit
ammunition,
there.
and we'd run out of ammunition. We're like, shit, we got to go out and get. And they
Yeah,
were
we're
all
like,
on
okay,
us.
we just got to sit here till things cool off.
Exactly.
And then, of course, you know, the boats would be out there and we couldn't do nothing about them. So they would still see us. So we would eventually have to try and go, you know,
Right.
get out of there. And then, you know, down in the tunnel somewhere, they'd get us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. How many times do we steal one of them cotton boats and just
we're
go
just
around sniping
going
people
everywhere.
on the beach?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm waiting to get a new system because that'll probably be the last system they put out, and whatever is probably be $400 easily, maybe more. Who knows?
Oh, it's going to be more than that because you're talking about like a Series X
Yeah,
right now. And we're talking about like the 1 terabyte drive and the optical drive.
right.
You know, they're $499 right now. Microsoft's already said they're going to be $599. That's if you can get the one with the optical drive.
Right.
Because
And
you know they're trying to just make it go all digital, and that doesn't work for me because my game library of discs is so, you know, I have a lot of game discs.
right.
And you know, backwards compatibility has always been a big
They say
thing
that some of
for
them
me.
work, but some of them don't work as smoothly as you'd like them to. And
Well, it's
you
all
know,
they're all pretty much emulations. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
but you know, it's fun to be able to pop in Left 4 Dead 2 and
just go. Yeah,
yeah. Because God, how many hours did we put into that thing? Jeez.
both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I mean, yeah,
1 and 2. And then 1 again when it
when
was
they had it
part
down.
of the DLC for 2.
Yeah, which I thought was clever. They tried, and then we tried the Left for Blood or wherever it was that the
Yeah,
spiritual
that last
successor.
one that they did, it
They
was
had
the
cards
spiritual
in there. You had
successful.
to
I
you had
did
to
not
collect
like it.
cards.
I played that for like 10 minutes. I'm like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
like
not
I'm
fun.
not doing all this card stuff. I just want to get out here and play and shoot.
I just want to get out here with the chainsaw and have some zombies run up on it.
And AI wasn't really a thing back then, but this was like more intelligent, and that game was more intelligent.
Yeah, because that game, like it would spawn. I won't say it's like AI, but it would spawn
right
the bosses at different places. They wouldn't always
It wasn't
spawn at the same time.
predictable. Yeah,
And I don't know if that was, you know, like just a random,
or some
you
kind
know,
of
code to
rotating
randomize
algorithm.
stuff that they put in there. But even like the regular ones and stuff weren't always the same.
Right.
And tanks were never in the same place. Witches were never, well, I won't say they were never in the same place. There was a, you know, like over in the cornfield when by the pipes, there's always one up over there.
You're right.
And there's always one in amongst all those cars that if you bump it, the alarm goes off. There's always one up
And
in
I
there.
always love bumping the alarm just to tick everybody off.
Help me, the witch got me.
I know. Then it'd be like, help me, you gotta help me. You know, like,
oh, and then God, man, Chaos 63 and that damn gnome. Jesus God. I remember the time he finally got it after like 10 tries. He you know, he's fixing, you know, the helicopters are coming, the zombies are coming, or the zombies are there, and then you start hollering, help me, help me, help me.
I know.
Help me, they got me, help me. And he's like, I'm coming. I said, no, you're not. You get your ass on that helicopter. I'll go help him.
I was like, I can do it. I can save him.
And then you and me both ended up dying, but I was like, it doesn't matter. We won because he
We still
finally
won because somebody
finally got the gnome achievement.
Yeah. Then one time, he was outside the room, and I just like called all the swarm, and the clowns were coming over. It's crazy. He hated me. He's like, "Get your ass back in this room."
And
That was a lot of fun.
God, how many times did we fill up the car, the gas in that car?
Oh yeah, the mall.
Good God. That was supposed to be in Savannah.
That's true.
Remember that?
Well,
Remember
it
that?
was Montgomery Street was on there, but it wasn't quite. Montgomery isn't by 95 where that is. Like,
yeah. I mean, they had some of the names in there, but I mean, nothing looked like Savannah.
Not really, no.
In there.
But it was pretty cool. It was like, it really kind of brought it home. And I remember I went to one of the sidewalks thing they did in Forsyth Park in Savannah. Somebody had done the Left 4 Dead logo on the chalk and the concrete. And I remember taking a picture of that back in the day. I was like, that's pretty sweet. But God, you know, I want to go on that. I want to go on now and play some damn Left 4 Dead with you. You got me nostalgic.
You gotta have Game Pass for that, buddy.
I got Game Pass. Yeah, I paid Game Pass.
I
paid for it. But I thought you let yours lapse or something. You said
I did, but I got it a couple of months ago. Lucas was bugging me about.
Of course,
he wanted to play something. So
shoot, I'll play you. Just let me know. But we should hang up here and get on there and play some. You got me wanting to play some now. We should stream sometime if I can figure out how to damn do it.
I found out this the other day. With your Amazon Prime subscription, you get a free subscription to Twitch.
I don't know that I have. I had Twitch at some point, but never really did.
I never had it. I'm like, nobody wants to watch me play these stupid games.
I know. Yeah, that was so 10 years ago.
I suck at them, so.
I know. It's like, I have that other one that we've got the server on that I said I was going to do something with the server, and you always post your new stuff in there. What is that called?
Discord,
yeah. And it's on my laptop when I make my boot up my thing. It asked me if I want to push the button to go live on Discord. I might start doing that, but I hadn't figured out how to get that Discord feed to. I'm sure it's easy. Somebody younger than me could probably tell me how to get the Discord to show up on my YouTube channel as like a live. I wish it could do that. Like, and that might get some interaction. Not that I basically threw everybody out my server because I hadn't been there in years. And so that, you know, but I was hoping that people
I hadn't been there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I went there recently just looking around and all that, but I don't do enough stuff with it. I've got enough going on. I really don't. I just need to post to one place. I don't have time, you know, like
I know that's why I miss TweetDeck, man. Remember TweetDeck?
I do. I do.
All your stuff.
Because people, yeah, you could, and that's what every time I would tweet, I would get, whether it was a bot or not. I used to get a lot of interaction. I mean, not interaction, but people, I would get the stats comments that people were showing up. I wouldn't get comments though, because people that like audio podcasters, they just listen. They don't want to, you know, interact as much. But like YouTubers, you know, are different. But I was always hoping for more of that. Was there anything we hadn't covered? Anything you want to talk about? Because I'm about to wrap this up, I think.
Yeah, I think so. We've been almost 2.5 hours.
Yip yapping. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not officially. I hadn't walked across the stage yet, but yeah, I've done the hard work.
There.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wish you could be too, but you're gonna be on Tatooine or someplace.
Yeah, going somewhere with the family.
Somewhere. Oh, y'all have fun. That'll be fun. I want to see if we can still. I don't. You know what my situation coming up. I still would like to go to Joe Fest. When is that? Is that June?
I have to. Yeah, it's in June. It's around somewhere around the 23rd.
Hey, can you send me like a calendar reminder or something to like Geek Home World or something at Gmail? About the your live stream or something, or send me something beforehand so I know. I need to write it down, but I'll forget, and I want to make sure because that's a Monday.
Oh, don't worry, I'll bug this.
Yeah, because I plan on being. I want to be there for your 1000th video and all that. And I'm super proud of you. I mention you all the time when I mention my show. I was like, well, you'd love my friend's channel. He blah blah blah. He does action figure reviews. Because unboxings is stuck in my head. I'll always say unboxing, and then I have to take that pause and don't say it, and then
Yes, now, I have done a couple of like haul unboxings.
I think I thought about a segment I could take over your channel, like your feed. Okay, Caveman's not here today, so I'm going to do an unboxing and just like rip the box, like do it really bad, just rip it out the package. Here it is, and look, it articulates. Oh shit, I broke its leg. Well, this was a good figure. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. I thought about that, but anywho. I may go over and check out Kaz and Bruce's channel tonight. I'm not sure because they're on now.
Yeah, they're probably on now. Probably been on.
I thought some of them might show
I
up.
can't remember if they do it at 9:30 or 10:30 on.
It's one or the other, but I purposely put mine at 8 so I wouldn't get them. If anybody wanted to watch both, they could see both.
Right.
So I want to thank Raz for showing up.
We had a maximum. I think I saw a maximum of 2 viewers.
We had about 4, I think, at the most. But it's funny. I'll go on later. Like literally that stream
more.
I did, I had 25, and then it showed me 30. I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting a lot of views on it after the fact, and I don't have a problem with that. As long as people are watching, it makes me happy. I'm trying to find it. Oh, I want to throw this up there. I meant to throw it up there for.
There you go.
Raziel Kane reviews. If anybody sees this or watch it, go check him out. Give him a sub. You'll like his content. He talks to a lot of voiceover artists. He's a really good guy. He's a super cool dude. And he's Canadian, but he won't charge you a tariff to watch, I promise. And then you're at, let's see, I'll put you on blast here so they can see you at
youtube.com
at Digital
Caveman.
With two ends.
Not the one end dude. I don't even know if he's on YouTube, but you don't want the one end guy.
There's me, youtube.com at geekhomeworld4248 until I get 5 more subs and 100 subs, then I can drop that 4248 crap. But till then, you can subscribe to me there, and I'll like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Anyway, let me run the outro and then the intro, which is the outro, which I was looking at that the other day. I'm going to be reworking that soon if I get some time. Get off my lazy butt.
Yeah, take out the thing where it goes Geek Homeworld.
I thought that was the coolest part of it. That was the idea. There's a stereo effect. I'm thinking of redoing the whole intro and outro stuff.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to do that every once in a while.
Yeah, to refresh it once in a while. Anyway, well, thank you for being here and taking time out of your night. And I'll see everybody later. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Geek Homeworld podcast. I'm your host, Ed, aka The Savage Tech Man. We talk film, TV, and tech, all from a geek perspective. You can find us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe and follow on YouTube at Geek Homeworld. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Be a part of the Geek Homeworld.